Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening. I am also the dungeon muser, incidentally. So tonight, we're going to be continuing our ongoing campaign playing Rob Schwab's awesome Shadow of the Demon Lord. Unfortunately, it's very sunny here today, so that may be difficult to see. We are continuing on an ongoing campaign playing the Tales of the Demon Lord mini campaign. Well, I guess not mini campaign; it's a full campaign. So if you have plans to play in this campaign at some point, there may be, I guess, well, there will be spoilers ahead. So please proceed with that caveat. With me tonight, I'm happy to say that we've got the two regular players from this campaign back together again. We'll start with the order that you guys logged on. So first up is Jeffrey.
Hello, everybody.
Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing?
My name's Jeff, and I'm playing Matt Baker, who is a engineer, a chemist, and an occultist. He's sort of a time and space wizard. And I'm playing Trader, who is a shape-changing goblin raven character. His history is he's a soldier, a temple ward, and an urchin.
Mm-hmm. He has both Matt and Trader have a fairly mysterious history as well, too, that we will be exploring. And then as well with us, as usual, is Steve-O.
Boom. Back. It's been a while, but yes, we're back with the gang. Millar, the shape-shifting technomancer, and Judas, the construct swashbuckler, and then of course Hobie, the reveling shade.
Yes.
There you are.
That's right. So we've last session, I think because you didn't make it, we did have a rare session where he didn't die.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. He's our Kenny. Yes.
Yeah. Totally. Okay, so where we last with the adventure we're playing tonight is part 2 of the Moon Spire. Where we last left our heroes was in the small town of Carbuncle, which is located outside of, it's to the west of, sorry, to the east of Crossings. You may remember, Steve, that Crossings is where you guys have been for the last, well, I mean, almost, 10 months, I suppose.
Right.
What I'm just going to say is that your guys, rather than like do some kind of narrative bullshittery, I'm just going to say you were with Matt and Trader last session. So what happened is that you guys traveled out to Carbuncle, and the reason you traveled out there is Carbuncle is located in the middle of this sort of like confluence of 3 highways, some leading north, some leading south, some leading elsewhere. And what Matt had discovered in his research was that there is there's supposed to be some kind of fey structure that appears on when the full moon appears, or when the full moon rises, I should say, and that it seems similar to both the massive towers that are found in Crossings. And let me give you a reminder of what those things look like. So here we are, guys. Remember that there's those big white spires, about 30 yards tall, all identical, that are found around Crossings. What you guys you may recall, what you're doing is trying to figure out, well, you've been hired by Master Dream to figure out what happened to his daughter, but it increasingly seems like the Fairy Queen has some kind of nefarious plot. So whether you're doing this for altruistic reasons or for mercenary reasons, the mercenary reasons would be that you're going here to find more information to try and rescue Candace, his daughter, from the Fey realm. Or if you're more altruistic, to try and figure out what the Fairy Queen is doing, and then figure out if there's anything you can do to stop her. Because it seems clear at the very least that she has some kind of plans for Crossings. You may remember, Steve, that last session, you guys managed to defeat, or at least to thwart, some kind of plot she had that was infecting the people of Crossing with this unnatural illness that would kill them and then cause them to raise from the dead, animated by some kind of black fairy. that was lodged in their body.
Right.
So what happened is you guys arrived in Carbuncle, and what you found about Carbuncle,
I was going to say, if we don't want to disrupt the narrative too much of last session, we could say that Matt and Trader met Millar and everyone else out on the heather after the scene at the bar.
that works absolutely. They were latecomers.
Yeah, they just arrived later to the town, and Matt rode out and met them in the heather by the bone tower or whatever it's called.
Yeah. So there was some sort of delay. So the three of you, your characters, Steve, Junis, Millar, and Hobie, all came riding into town. You know what I need to do? Geez, between now and next session, I need to make a roster page so I can show the pictures of your characters. So for the listeners at home, they can keep track of who I'm talking about. But I wonder, hold up, you know what I can do? Give me a sec here, guys. I think I've got a workaround for this in the interim. Let's see.
Yeah, our tokens are on that page.
Let's see if I can make this work. Boom. Boom. Yes, there we go. Okay, so there are, and I'll make them a little bit bigger.
This is a little squished, but...
Yeah, then I can fix that, though. There we go.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There's Junis. There is Millar.
That's probably real size difference.
Yeah, really.
The first one, yeah.
And Hobie. And Matt. I think is accurate there. Let's say his face looks a little squished, but I think that's how he looks.
Yeah.
And
there.
Okay, great. So there we go. Is our cast of heroes. So you were making your way up towards the tower. What happened, Steve, is that on this town itself is full of deformed people. There's barkeep with dog ears. There's people with pig noses. There's people with giant hunchbacks. There's people whose arms seem to be coming out of the wrong part of their torso. Yeah, there was a guy who seemed to have like skin that was too big for his body. And Matt, sort of, Steve will know, it's because of apparently the presence of the Fey powers. It just has an unnatural effect, and when this thing appears, when this tower appears, it causes some unnatural disturbances, like it'll cause water to turn to blood, or it'll cause chairs to all stack in the same place, or it'll cause animals to speak until the next until the dawn comes, or it'll make grass or flowers scream. It's all just weird and unnerving stuff. So as you guys rode into town, what you found is that Matt and Trader were about to make their way into this tower, this thing. It had manifested, and it was on the top of this, surrounding this town for about 10 miles in every direction or so. There are farmhouses. So there's big swaths of rich, full fields and quaint kind of farmhouses and whatnot that are dotting the road. Until you get into town here, and town is really just, there's I think it's called a stump. It's a kind of a tavern where people are allowed to pay to sleep on the floor.
Nice.
And there's a small sort of it's not a caravansary, but it's an area where traveling merchants, if they don't want to pay for staying at the stump, they'll just circle the wagons and then stay out there. And then also on the one place that doesn't seem to be developed is on the northern part of town. There's this rolling hill that seems to be full of these white flowers, and and that's that. They're kind of like weeds almost, and the flowers you're finding, those I guess this really is of concern for maybe only Hobie. But he's got pretty thick boots on too. There's thick winding vines that have sharp thorns on them underneath those flowers. And when the full moon rose, this giant white tower appeared. And that's where Matt and Trader and you guys walked up to. You walked up there. There was a what appeared to be sort of a portal with this kind of like a seam around the what would be the door. You couldn't distinguish the material from the rest of the tower, but it had this very faint blue light coming through. And as you guys walked up to it, when you put your hand towards it, this sort of like handle appeared. And Matt did a bit of a thing where he kept like trying to trick it, and it did not trick it. It would appear anytime his hand went through. He opened the door, he walked inside, as did you guys, and then the door sealed, and we saw the seam go away. And that's where we left last session. So Jeff didn't actually know what he found inside. And what he found inside was death. You guys all died. How did you enjoy the campaign so far?
Oh, always happens.
Hobie's like, again? No, what you find inside is a just very much like the exterior. There is a room that you'd expect to be about the size of the circumference of the tower. It's a white stone of some kind that has no seams, no imperfections, no stains in it whatsoever. It's very unnaturally white, but it has a bit of a stone textured surface to it. And in this room, there is a staircase that is sort of meandering its way up the wall. Like it's built into the wall, but it doesn't quite go straight up. Kind of goes up, and then it'll go down a bit, and then it'll kind of go around. Like the imperfection of the staircase is sort of a stark contrast to the otherwise perfection of design of the tower. The staircase seems to lead up to a portal at the top, and the stairs seem to lead up to some floor above you. And the blue glow that permeates this room seems to be coming from somewhere up there. So what do you guys do? The door, incidentally, has disappeared behind you.
Oh, door.
And you say it's up the stairs.
What was that?
We're gonna head up the stairs.
Okay. Who wants to take the lead?
Go for it.
Sure.
The tank says you go first.
Exactly. I'm looking for.
He'll lead the way. He made those special bullets, so.
Sure. All right. So you make your way up the staircase. Do you have your gun out, or do you have your?
Yeah, he took his gun out when he went through the door. I don't know if you remember that.
Okay, great. So you make your way up the stairs, and as you walk up into this second floor, you sort of cautiously poke your head up first. There's no railing on the staircase, by the way, either. It's just steps leading up. Sorry, Steve, did you say something?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, what was that, Steve?
I didn't say anything. No, that's all right. Go ahead.
Okay, so you make your way up, and then, Matt, as you get to the top, you sort of, poke your head up and look around. And what you see is a room very much like the one you just left, only in the very middle of this room, there is an enormous pillar of blue flame. It's flickering. It doesn't seem to have, it seems to come like almost right out from the flat stone, white stone surface. It reflects this bluish light all around where you are, and it seems to go up to the ceiling as well. And around this, there is a staircase that is a more even staircase that seems to lead up, winding around to the top of this chamber, and then into another one. So you step on. Everyone sort of makes their way up to the.
Wait for everyone to get up sort of to this floor so that we can look at the fire.
Sure. Okay, so
does anyone have any insight into this blue flame?
Well, this isn't something you need to roll for, but there is something weird here. This blue, apart from the color of the flame, I suppose, but this blue flame gives off absolutely no heat.
Hmm.
You move your hands up, you know, the way you would do with a campfire. You sort of put your hands out and you just don't feel it whatsoever.
What if you actually touch the flame?
Who's going to touch the flame?
Matt will touch the flame.
So Matt reaches forward, he touches the flame, and poof, Matt is gone, guys. Matt's gone. So
Trader was sitting on his shoulder, and now he's just like, you know, fluttering in midair all of a sudden.
Okay, so Matt is gone. What do you guys do?
I do have Augur. Millar has Augur as a spell, which is when I concentrate, I can use my divination to gain an insight into the future. At the end of this time, ask the game master one question that can be answered yes or no.
What's the casting time of Augur?
Let's see here. It is we use this by concentration. Up to 1 minute. Target area.
It's a divination spell, right?
It is a divination spell. Yeah.
It doesn't say. It may just be one one action. Then I think that was the way. Yes. Okay. So what we had said before, going back actually to our first fucking session, is that she uses Piscomancy.
Right.
Remember? So what you guys see, I guess, is then Millar's kind of like doesn't lose her cool. She reaches into back into one of her pouches, pulls out this wax sealed kind of canister, pops it open, and there's this horrific smell of fish that just fills the entire chamber immediately. She spills some of the guts from in there out onto the ground and begins sort of sorting through it. So let me see here. What is it, Steve? You get to ask me one question?
Right. What the heck am I asking here?
Let me see here. Yeah, so ask me one question that can be answered yes or no, and I must answer truthfully.
Jeff?
What was that question?
So I can ask one question with a yes or no answer. What should I ask?
Oh, shit.
And the DM has to answer truthfully.
Yep. While you're sorting that out, guys,
ask if you should touch the flame as well.
Ooh. Yeah, that is a fairly subjective question. So, just in fairness, the answer I'm going to suggest is from a safety perspective. Or will be, just so an FYI. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I'm updating. There we go.
Oh, make sure that we have all our mana and stuff.
Yeah, because I don't think I updated your tokens since you guys last played. So while you guys are sorting out, what do you think? What question do you want to ask? Is that the one you want to ask? Should we touch the flame?
With the devil on this one, of course, right? What should we ask if Matt's still alive? Matt's gone, right?
Yeah, you could ask that too. Is Matt still alive?
Yeah, because if he is, then maybe we just follow him. Right.
Okay, is that what you're going to ask then?
Go for it.
All right. Is Matt okay?
Yes. The augury suggests yes. So is that a level 1 spell, Steve, or is that level 0?
Does she ask this out loud and there's an answer, or is she just peering into guts and poking around and it's all in her own head?
Yeah, like it would be all in her own. The fish guts would tell her that. It's...
Well, I was gonna do this anyway, regardless of the answer. But Trader says you guys are taking too long. This is bullshit. and obviously nobody hears anything but some cawing, and he flies into the flame.
He disappears as well.
Fair enough. Okay, well, Matt's still alive, so, I mean, I guess we found out what we were looking to find out. We better go with him.
I mean, we might all be trapped somewhere if we follow him, but...
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hold on. Can I cast Augur again? Hold on.
You should have control. You should have control over your token. If Augur is a level 1 spell, it'll cost you 2 mana. Well, I gotta go to the washroom, guys. I'm sorry. Just give me 1 sec here. While you're sorting it out.
It's up to you, Steve. You can do whatever you need.
It's hilarious. What do I do? All right.
I mean, Trader wasn't going to leave him alone in wherever he's gone.
No, of course not.
He's like his bodyguard, so.
Right, well, you guys are still alive, so maybe we got to go where you are, and then maybe we can find a way out. Because I've got taken stuff like that, so like I can get out of if we're in a cage or something. We've got ways to.
Yeah, so does Matt.
Screw with reality. All right, I guess we'll just follow you then.
Okay.
Okay, sorry guys. So, did you want to cast Augury a second time, Steve?
I think we're just gonna follow them.
Okay. So you do you do it all at the same time, or do you individually stick your hand in there, or what?
Sure. So Holy says, "My rebel's blessing." Yes. You will brave us.
All right.
Cover the red bars damage?
Red bars are your health. What I'll do is we'll just count down on both of them, so you'll see your health go down. And I know we were doing it the other way before.
So I should set them to whatever. Like, I'm not injured, am I?
No. Set your mana and your health to max. Steve, I just finished setting all yours to the proper things.
Blue is mana, right?
Yes.
And so they should be full.
Yeah. Yeah, so you just enter it in whatever, like the number before and after as whatever your mana rating is.
There we go.
Okay.
That's right.
So as each of you, stick your hands in there, you all vanish. Now, I'm going to start with the description of what Matt sees. We'll pick up for when Matt first arrived, where you guys arrived. So, Matt, when you touch that flame, there's sort of a quick, wrong bar, Steve. Or Jeff?
Yeah, they're different on this one.
Bars 2 and 3 are the ones you want.
Yeah. I got it.
There you go. Beauty. Okay. So yeah, you when you touch the flame, you suddenly there's a flash, and you find yourself in what you think is maybe the same room, only. Excuse me, my goodness. It's shocking. It's shocking what you find in here. I'm getting choked up. What you find is a blazing hot ball of blue plasma. This roiling, churning, ball of energy that hangs high and hot in this room. And you kind of have to step back from it. You also notice that there is a glowing green portal that covers a section of the wall about 1 yard in diameter. This room has no obvious exit, and it has no staircase. So there's the ceiling, the bottom. It still seems to share the same circumference of or same size as the other rooms in this tower. But on the floor, there are 6 underneath that swirling blue ball. There are 6 irregularly shaped glass panels that are set within bronze frames. Each of the frame has feet on them as well. and they have different shapes to them. There is a circle. There is a... Ooh, what is that? Sorry, one of these things just does not make sense in here. So there is one that is a triangle. There is one that is a square. There is one that is a septahedron. There is one that is a... I'm trying to think here. Is dodecahedron 11-sided?
A dodecahedron is like a 12-sided dice.
Oh, 12-sided dice. So well, I'm not sure what...
Okay.
I don't know. I don't,
or a 20-sided...
11. Yeah, I don't know
the actual solids.
Why don't we do this? Well, rather than me giving, like, trying to, like, remember...
Yeah, dodecahedron is a 12-sided dice.
Yeah. So there is one shape that has 3 sides, one that has 4, one that has 5, one that has 11, and one that has 13. So there's a circle, and then there's each of those shaped things. Each of those is about maybe 5 feet tall, and each has a brass kind of frame to it, and in the center there is a lens. And you're sort of puzzling this out when suddenly, Trader appears, and then it's quickly, swerves away from this blazing ball of energy. And
did he appear from the portal or just out of thin air?
Out of thin air.
Okay.
And that is followed shortly afterwards by a fairly foul-smelling Millar and Junus and Hobie.
After they all come through, Matt's like, I found something.
There's a little whiskey there, Matt.
Wow, I didn't think that I would teleport here. We almost seem to be in the same space, but maybe another dimension, or the Fey realm, or whatever they call it.
You do know that the Fey are, obviously notorious tricksters, but one of the reasons why, without spoiling anything, one of the reasons why you eventually found your way to here, and one of the reasons where you found yourself in the region where you met Trader, was because the Fae are quite strong in temporal and teleportation spells.
Right. So we could be somewhere else in the world, or even in another world. Because, I mean, we do know about the Fey gates, right? Like, we were trying to get to the Fey realm, and we didn't know how to open their portals.
That's right. Because what the portals do is they lead to what's called the Hidden Kingdoms.
Or the Hidden Kingdoms, yeah. So we may be in the Hidden Kingdoms. We don't know.
So what do you guys do? You see exactly as I described there. There's a couple of panels that are on the ground. Now, I will mention this whole adventure has a lot of puzzles in it. So if you guys want to open like a Word document or take notes physically, that may assist you in sorting these things out.
Okay. So can we move these things, or are they fixed in place, or what?
You actually can see that they're sort of laid out in as while they're different shaped, panels. They're sort of laid out in a rough sort of circle around this thing, and in the middle there is, or rather facing in on the inside, there are feet on the bottom of each of these things, almost as if you could like prop them up.
The shapes are circle, triangle, square, 5, 6, 11, 13.
It's circle 3, 4, 5, 11, and 13.
So, can we position them in such a way that this ball in the room is shooting its light through the lens?
Yeah, like if you're gonna try and move one of these things up and see what's what with them.
Yeah, let's just try the circle one.
Okay, so you grab the circle one and you prop it up, and it's not. You would think with the amount of brass and whatnot that's in there, that it would be quite heavy, but it really is. It's no heavier than if it was made out of a light wood. So it's quite easy to get up, and you notice that the lens that sort of fills the middle there, it is not quite transparent. It's glass or some kind of transparent substance, but it's really almost like oily and muddied on the inside, such that it's actually refracting the light that passes through it. Or I guess refracting would be more. That's what Matt would be thinking. The rest of you guys would be thinking it's magic. It's changing the color. Millar wouldn't think that because she's technologically savvy enough, but it's changing actually the color of the light. And the color of the light passing through the circle changes from blue to
Blue.
oh, actually nothing.
Bluetooth.
Blue to blue.
Yeah, you prop it up and it's shining the light through the wall. It's a maybe slightly darker color of blue.
Okay. So try out the triangle one.
Okay. So you try the triangle one, and you plunk it up, and the light that passes through and hits the white wall, it seems to be like a bit of a slightly aquamarine color or aquamarine tinge to it. And again, there's that blazing green portal on the wall, on the wall as well.
Right. So there's a green portal. So I guess we could go. So we kind of get this. I mean, we could just check all the colors of them. You could just tell us.
Sure. So you prop each of them up. The 4-sided one becomes slightly violet. The 5-sided one becomes almost like a ruddy, like it's a ruddy blue, like a darker, almost like brown tinged blue. The 11-sided one, the second to most complex one, it actually changes to just stark white. And then the 13-sided one, it casts light that's actually like a multicolored rainbow. So I'm sort of picturing that at this point, you've got these things set up so they're casting light, like sort of circles of light or shapes of light onto the various circles, and there's a bunch of different colors that are around there. It's worth noting, though, none of these things are actually casting light on the green portal at this point.
Right. In the positions they were in.
Yeah, that you propped them up in.
You poke our head through the portal? The green one? Or that's what we just came through?
No, we appeared out of thin air.
Okay.
So let's go examine this portal now, Kev.
Okay. So, the portal, it's just like the other one. It doesn't seem to give off any light or any heat to it. Does someone want to poke at it as well?
Yeah, sure. Matt will try touching it again.
Matt's gone again. Now, give me a sec here.
I love it.
Okay, so Matt vanishes. And what are the rest? The rest of you guys sort of all look at each other. Trader sort of flapping his wings in the air. What are you guys doing?
Hold on a second. Before we go storming in there.
Okay. So everyone sort of like grabs this thing and just touches it.
So are we all just gonna follow Matt? Just go for it.
Sure.
We're the sanctuary.
Well, I guess no one. Yeah. So you're all. This is all your characters talking to each other because remember that Trader only kind of speaks in squawks.
Okay, right. Okay. All right, Squawky. Well, I know what you want to do. The rest of us all look at each other. I mean, it looks like a portal. I mean, Malara looking at it, she's convinced it's a portal, right? It's not like some furnace is going to burn them.
It's she's familiar with the sort of Fey tricks as well too. Like this is it. Maybe, yeah, you don't know where it's taking you, but
Matt's on again.
Okay, so I'm assuming touching there then. All right, so once again, we'll cut to Matt's first impression. So what you see is actually you're in perfect darkness. So you're standing and it's pitch black in this room. It's still, what do you do?
Do I have any source of light? Let me just check here.
I think at the very least you've got your sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, I got my sonic screwdriver. I would say it has some kind of a simple flashlight.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So you activate this. Oh, this is different. You find yourself in a circular chamber, very much like the last one you were in.
Yeah.
In the middle, you're near the edge of the wall, but in the middle of this room, there stands a towering black stone obelisk. The obelisk is about 2 yards wide, it's about 6 feet wide. It's about 2 yards long, and then it's about 3 yards tall. So it towers over you. This massive, jagged slab of obsidian-colored stone. You are currently near the wall. The walls in here are black as pitch, and they don't seem to be reflecting light either. And you hear a kind of a.
They're made of carbon nanotubes.
Say again.
But they're made of carbon nanotubes.
Yeah. You hear sort of a as you step back, there's a crunch, and you put your light down, and you can see that there is the husk of some kind of large beetle, like an Egyptian-style scarab beetle.
Oh.
And you look down, and there's more detritus on the floor here than you expected. And maybe around that is when you hear suddenly you realize that your allies are there too. How does everyone else who suddenly appears in this darkness? You see Matt carrying just his light, but what do you guys? What's your immediate reaction here? You guys are likewise against the edge, like near the wall. You're not very close to the obelisk at this point.
I don't know that anyone else can see in the dark.
I've got dark vision, and Malara's got something.
Oh, there you go. That might help.
Okay, so can I ask, Millar? You look around and you see now the. I'm trying to think of. I think that. Well, you guys tell me if you think this is fair. So my thought is in the same way that like night vision is fucked up when someone turns a light on. I think that if you're standing in the light, it probably screws up your dark vision. Do you guys think that's unfair, or do you think that makes sense? Jeff, what do you think?
Like it would take her, like you mean it would take her a few minutes for her dark vision to adjust or whatever.
I mean, she would have to step into the dark in order to have her eyes adjust.
You have to have shadows.
Yeah,
you only see shadows as they're light, so that's not really the same thing. But Hobie has dark sight. I can see areas obscured by shadows and darkness if those areas, as if they were lit.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So okay. No. You know what? I've changed my mind. No. So then I think with Millar, the light would actually allow her to see even further into there because it would be like the ambient light would stretch further for her. For her eyes than it would for an average human. And Hobie, I think, is just able to see the whole thing. So you guys can see this, what I described before, which is that circular room, black walls, no obvious exit, that giant obelisk standing before you guys. And remember, like, this thing's about 6 feet, like as long as a grown man lying down. That's how wide this thing is, and it just soars up to the ceiling. Why don't you guys make a perception challenge for me, please?
Okay.
I'm going to grab something as well while you're doing that.
Perception. Can I get an auto? Do I get an auto boon on that? Why do I feel like that?
You should get a boon on it. Yeah. Okay. Some of your characters will have boons on that.
Based on what?
Don't you guys have some of you guys have skills that, or professions rather, that would grant bonuses, or any class abilities? Does no one have anything that boosts perception? I maybe can confuse you guys with my character in the other campaign. Whoa, Steve, who's that first person you rolled for?
That was just me because I don't think she gets a boon.
Okay, well that's good enough. There's enough. You can remember that a challenge difficulty is a 10. If you get over a 10, you succeed in Shadow of the Demon Lord, unless it's being contested. So, yeah, what you guys hear is there's a chittering on the ground. Something is scurrying along the floor in here.
Nice.
Who says that? Is that Millar who says that? I'm going to say it is. And then, so she says that, and then Hobie looks over and he wishes. It appears that the whole ground is moving towards you guys because there are swarms of small scarab beetles that are converging towards you, and they hit the edge of the light. So what we're going to do, guys, rather than play out, like, I didn't want to do maps for this one because it's not, I don't know, it's less fun that way. But in what do you call it? I think it loses some of the fun. What do you call it? I'm getting feedback from somebody. It might be from you, Steve. Can you just try talking? Yeah, Steve, I think your mic is just. If you could stand next to your mic and talk just for a little bit. Yeah, I'm not hearing you at all, Steve.
I think his phone rang.
Oh, okay. Let's see, is he still there? His mic just got really. Oh yeah, he's gone. Okay, so we'll go last. So what you see scurrying towards you is these swarms of scarab beetles. So what I was saying to him is in Forbidden Rules, they give very cool optional rules for using effectively like you use zones instead of using like we do in Conan.
Yeah.
It would take you one. So that's what we're going to do. These things are about one zone away from you guys right now, which means that they're short range. I think one zone away is short range. 2 zones is medium. 3 zones is long. So you just use your spells, distance of your spells according to that. So we were doing declaration of whether you want to do fast actions or slow turns, or fast turn or slow turn. So first, they will be taking slow turns because they want to get in to get at you.
I don't know if I have any spells that help with this.
Yeah, this is a tough one. And
We need fire or something like that.
yeah, we definitely need something like that, and I don't really have a lot of that. Although I do have, well, I have, what is it? I have caltrops. Is that gonna work? No, I have more importantly, avalanche.
Ooh, does avalanche attack one thing, or is it an AOE?
It's an AOE radius of 2 yards centered on a point I can reach, and a cone 5 yards long originating from that point.
Yeah, that's an AOE. That's fine by me.
Boom.
Okay.
Noise, rock and roll, baby. She's like, oh, I only got this. I guess. Well, sorry, fast or slow actions, right? Okay. Fast action.
Right. Yeah, I guess we should indicate.
Fast action.
Again, these things are taking slow turns, so they will be acting after. And remember, enemies act after you in this game. It's not like Conan where I can steal the initiative. Bullshit game. Can't let the DM go before you.
All right.
All right, so everyone's declared their actions. So who wants to take their fast action first? Millar, Hobie, or Trader?
Hobie will cast Rebel's Blessing on Millar.
Okay. So what does that do, Steve?
That is, where is the thing? Where is it? Balance. Hold on here. There we go. Eternal Returns, Mad God's Laughter, 1 foot in the grave. Where is it? Rebel's Blessing. I can use an action to heal. Oh, no, wait. Okay, the Prayer and Divine Strike. When I concentrate on a creature within short range, I've used a triggered action, to grant 1 boon on the triggering roll and deal an extra d6 damage.
But that's for an attack roll. I'm not sure there is any roll with Avalanche, is there?
Right. You mentioned it.
Yeah, it just bursts up, and they take an agility challenge to take less damage.
There you go. Okay, never mind then. All right. Yeah, I guess you'll do that.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, why don't you describe for us what does it look like when Millar goes forward and casts a spell?
She of course doesn't like insects very much, and she senses what's going on, and as they get clear in her eyes, as they come out of the shadows a bit more, she goes, oh shit, she just reacts, and she knows that no one else has sort of good fire or anything like that. She only pulls out the one thing in her arsenal, and she sort of basically it's like she sort of swipes the ground, and it kind of like it sort of creates this ripple and this rumble, just accumulates really quickly and turns into a flying pile of dirt.
That's awesome. Okay, so the surface of this thing roils up and casts out. So that would cost her. It's a level 2 or level 3 spell.
That's a level 2, actually.
2? Okay, so then it'll cost her 3 mana. And then I'd like you to roll. It doesn't do 4 damage, you said?
There's 4d6 damage.
Okay, so here's the good thing. With swarms like this, you do double damage with these things. So why don't you roll 8d6 for me? Because no one
all right.
Guys.
8d6?
8d6, please, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. All right.
And there's actually 3 swarms of these things, so I'll allow that to hit 2 of them. Holy shit. So you almost annihilate 2 of the swarms. There's this, bits of stone and dust and beetle guts just go flying out everywhere. So clearly she does not care for these things.
No, not big on.
And traders still have quick actions, or swift fast turns, rather. Who'd like to go next?
Trader can go.
Okay. What's he going to do?
Trader flies up to the top of the obsidian tower thing.
Interesting. So as soon as he does that, there are, from the bottom of it, as soon as he flies over, there are these, lines of vibrant green energy that begin crackling across this thing, tracing out this hidden kind of carvings, I guess, or symbols that were on the obelisk. And did you say that a trader lands on it?
Is there a flat top to it?
Yeah, there's sort of like there's a reasonably flat enough top that he can land on. Yeah.
Yeah, he lands on it.
Okay. As soon as he lands on it, he's suddenly gone, and the green lights disappear. So we'll follow up what happened to him in just one moment. I actually have a little chart to track where everyone is, because I anticipated this might happen. So he's gone up, and from what you guys can see, he's just suddenly not, he disappears into the darkness. So that's Trader's turn. Hobie, what does he want to do? These beetles are still swarming in on you.
My goodness. Sorry, did we see Trader land on anything?
I think why don't you make a perception challenge for me? Let's see if you did see that. I think that probably your greater concern is the oncoming swarms of seemingly hungry insects. But
I feel like he gets. All right, we'll straight up perception.
Yeah, because he's got dark vision, I'm not going to impose a boon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't see it happen.
All right.
Okay, so what's he doing with his quick action then, or his fast turn rather? If you like, Steve, you can revise it and do a slow turn instead. I'm not fussed.
Okay. I appreciate that. Short range of what I do with size binding strike. Oh man, maybe I will just do misdirect on. Is that even gonna help? If I cast that on Junis.
What does misdirect do? I can't remember.
Misdirect adds a Bane. The target makes attack rolls with 1 Bane. Can I do that? Can I cast it on the?
On one of the swarms? Sure. There's the 2 that were almost annihilated by Millar, but there's still another one coming in on you guys. So maybe try that on that if you like.
Sure, let's do misdirect on that one.
Okay. Do you have to make a roll for that?
Make an intellect attack roll. Okay.
Yeah, there should be a button on the spell actually now.
Oh yeah. Cool. All right, and it's against the target's perception.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll give Revel's Blessing to myself then. Can I? Oh, because it's a triggered action. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah,
okay.
Sounds good. Cool.
All right. Boom. Oh, and actually, wow.
Jesus Christ, you got a 42?
How the hell did that happen?
Oh, okay. Clearly, this doesn't work. They're using a percentile dice.
Okay. Let's try it again.
Oh,
okay. So that's intellect against perception with a boon.
Okay.
All right. And I think I do get because last time I leveled up, I do get an extra D6 damage now too when I use that boon. So I get a boon and D6 damage.
Yes, but this one I don't think misdirect does damage though.
Right. You're right. All right, intellect. Here we go.
What I do
22. Wow.
It shows the spell though. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the 20 versions, like the D&D one and the Iron Kingdoms one and the Pathfinder one, you can post shit right into the chat.
Right.
Which is awesome. So that's cool. This does this as well. All right, cool. So yes, that absolutely is a hit. That one of those things. How does it manifest, Steve? What do you think it looks like?
It's sort of like a fuzzy, dark mist. It kind of obscures the edges of a creature, but it's sort of like almost like a sticky fog.
Awesome.
Sort of, in your eyes.
Like the kind of stuff you see come off of like a cartoon drink that's been poisoned.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, cool. So why don't we go with Matt next then? Okay. And why don't you make a perception check to see if you notice what happened to Trader? I am going to give you a Bane on that because you don't have dark vision.
Right. Perception. So I do -1 then, right?
Yeah, one.
I think the way this works is you do -1, right?
Oh, on the interface, yeah.
Yeah, that works. Yeah. So 16 is correct.
Yeah, so you saw that happen.
Oh, okay. Shoot. See, I don't really have any spells that fight insect swarms. And I don't think bullets from a gun are a good way to fight insects either.
Okay. So I imagine that Matt's probably articulating this out loud.
Yeah, Matt is like telling everyone, and he's like, I guess he would use his pocket watch and teleport up to the top of the stone.
Okay. So, you know what? That's once a day, isn't it?
I have no idea, honestly.
I think it is. And you've used it to get out of the inn.
Yeah.
I mean, you have another teleportation spell, I think.
Well, that's the one I was actually trying to use. It doesn't actually teleport me. I have a swap position spell.
Oh, shit.
So him and Trader were actually trying to swap positions.
Oh.
Trader was trying to fly up there so that he could teleport Matt up there, basically.
Okay. So what you could do, the obelisk is in effectively the zone where some of the scarabs are, or some of the beetles are. So you could run effectively through them to get there, but they will have triggered actions to try and get up there.
Okay, let's see what happens when I try to run through them.
Okay. So you go.
Yeah. He's running with a very stomping type steps.
I love it. Okay. So you're doing that, and you're kind of sort of like, these things are so quick. Like some of them are getting up your legs, and you're able to bat one or two of them away. But does an 18 hit you?
Probably. Where's that?
That would be your defense.
Defense. Oh yeah, he's just a defense 10.
It does. Okay. So let's see here. So what you take is you take 6 points of damage.
Oh wow, it seems like a pretty high damage.
No. This is a damaged one. You take 4 points of damage. Forgive me. And then I need you to make a strength challenge with 1 bane, because these things are trying to get through your clothes. You guys all have fortune right now, incidentally.
Strength.
Remember, you can
with a bane. You said.
With 1 bane, yes.
Oh god, this is going to go very poorly.
So remember, you have fortune you can spend to. Oh shit!
Wow. Cool.
Now, does Matt want to use his fortune to get an auto success on that?
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea.
So just turn your little white thing off. Steve, also, remember to be spending your mana. It's your level your spell +1 is what it costs to cast each of your spells.
Right.
Yeah, so you spent.
Got it. That was a 0. Yeah.
Oh, 0. But what was the what about misdirect? That.
Oh, no, misdirect. That was a 0. No, wait. What have I cast now? Didn't I just cast misdirect?
You cast misdirect and you cast the prayer thing.
There's the prayer. The prayer I think is a talent. I don't think it's an ability.
Okay, so that's if it's a 0 level ability, it still costs you 1. Then that's why it's your level +1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's a talent, that one. Yeah.
Okay. So he would have spent 1 mana last turn. Okay. So
gotcha.
Matt's going through there, and then those things are trying to get onto your feet or onto your through your pants. And as you're getting closer, you see those lines are tracing up the side of the obelisk. And what do you do?
So it's tracing lines up the obelisk?
Yeah. So it's I think we've seen this in movies a bunch of times before too, where like energy goes along the ground and then it kind of goes up something and it sort of traces out all these symbols and stuff on the side of something. That's what's happening here with the.
I think I'll just touch the obelisk then.
Okay. Let's see. So you touch it and you vanish. Okay, and you are no longer here.
I will give it a drink. Well.
Okay.
You figure out what he's gonna do.
Millar and sorry, Judas is the last one to go here. So
Judas is the last one to go.
So you've seen that happen with Matt. Matt went running towards the thing, it flared up, and he disappeared. Now, what is Judas going to do? There still is one sizable swarm that is coming in that you saw Hobie cast some kind of magic onto it. There's 2 very reduced or greatly reduced swarms that Millar has, pretty beaten up pretty badly.
Right.
What do you want to do?
He's going to use his charisma to try and negotiate with them.
That is unlikely to be successful.
All right. What the hell will he do? He's going to turn to the guys and say, what do you? Should we get the heck out of here? Because we just lost. Do we assume Matt went the same place as? Well, I guess we don't know, right? Because you need to know. So wait. So Matt touched the obelisk. Is that right?
Matt, you know for sure that. You know what? Make a perception challenge for Junis. Junis,
Okay.
does he doesn't have any kind of special sight, right?
I don't believe so. No.
Okay, so just make a perception challenge with 1 boon or 1 bane, please.
1 bane. Oh, good. Just what I need. All right. Perfect. And 1 -1 -1, right? Yes. Okay.
Yes, please.
Oh, great. -6. Perfect. Thanks. That was perfect. All right. 1.
Everyone else. Good God.
Oh my God.
I'm not even sure that Junis noticed that Matt is gone at this point.
Yeah, all right. He's sort of like, he's terrified of small insects because they get inside his armor and he can't get them out.
Oh, totally. They'll totally screw up his gears.
Exactly.
He's like, ground up in his ears.
So what is Junis going to do then?
Junis is going to, what the heck is he going to? He's going to run around and try to stomp on as many as he can.
Okay, so these things aren't quite in your zone yet. Remember, we're using zones instead of yeah. So like, if you want, you can spend a move action to move into one of their zones and then attack them there, or you can ready an action, just wait for them to come in, and then you can get attacked before they will.
Okay, yeah, he's going to hold up a shield. He's going to use his shield to sort of slam on them and squish as many as possible if they get close to him.
Okay. Okay, so then what we'll do is, did I add his stats for shield on there? Because I think you've got this badass like spiked shield now, don't you?
That's true. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I think all right.
I think you did. Yep. Large Jotun shield damage 1d6 + 2. Yep. 1 boon.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's. So that's what happens. You sort of like steady yourself, and there's this carpet of these things that are coming in, and then you step forward and slam the shield down. Go ahead and make an attack roll for me, please.
Dun, 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 dun. And 1 boon, and I guess we won't bother with the combat feint and all that crap. All right. Attack. Oh, yeah. Attack 22, damage 8. Nice. Oh, and when it's wait, it's a shield. You don't get extra. Okay.
Okay. So your shield. Now, no. If you've got anything, Steve, that will add to the thing, like I think you've got a bunch of fighter abilities that will add, or warrior abilities rather. A shield counts as a weapon.
Okay. Combat feint. Until the end of the round, I make attack with a swift weapon against a creature with 1 boon. Okay. And
so 1, with combat prowess, you deal 1 extra damage with all your weapons, and then combat expertise. When you use an action to attack with a weapon, you either deal 1d6 extra damage with that attack, or make another attack against a different target at any point before the end of your turn.
Wow, a different target. Like, well, but it would be the same target, though, wouldn't it?
You could, but there's 3 swarms. Like 2 of them are greatly diminished, but there's still 3 swarms.
Okay, well, let's do that then. Let's do 2 separate attacks then, and get the extra d6 damage, which I get anyways. What you say?
Yeah. So roll 1 extra d6 for me, please, and we'll add that to what you did with your big shield.
Boom. Go from 8 to 1. 6. Nice.
Nice. Okay. So let me think here. Okay. So that using the shield was pretty effective. So what I allowed, Steve, is just that you're doing you get 75% damage against these things rather than.
Nice.
So if wham, you slam down on these things, and then you spin to the next one and go ahead and make your attack roll again.
All right. Rock and roll, baby.
And a shield should at least be able to do a big swath of them for you.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
23. What's up?
Whoa, look at that. Oh, hey.
And another
Steve, I think you've got some of the triggers when you roll over 20.
Oh, wait, but does it do it with the shield?
Remember,
oh, wait.
Weapon.
Yeah, because all weapons, right? Hold on.
Yeah, when you total your attack rolls 20 or higher and exceeds the number by 5, it deals 1d6 extra damage.
Oops, that's 2d6 extra damage.
Yeah. So why don't you roll roll 3d6 for me? I'll take the first one and apply it to the first attack, and then I'll take the rest of this to this next one.
All right, thanks. Kablam. All right, there we go.
Okay.
425.
Awesome. All right, so you actually have completely annihilated one of the swarms, one of those ones that Millar blew up, and you've significantly reduced the like it's almost a half of the rest of them that are coming in on you. Now, okay. However, there still are 2 swarms that are able to get in on you guys, and I'll say so. The first one's going to go on Junis for sure. Junis, oh fuck, I rolled 19. I think it does a 22 hit you? Your defense?
I think it probably does. I believe so. Yeah, Junis, right?
Yep.
Junis, yes, his defense is 18.
Okay, would you make a strength challenge roll, please, with 1 Bane?
All right.
You take
on Bane. 13.
Awesome. So these things, like I was, you were clearly thinking about what the potential problem is here. These things are skittering in, and they're trying to like wiggle their way in through your interconnecting plates and trying to get into the guts of your machinery.
Right.
You're clearly smashing these things and knocking them back, and you're able to keep them at bay. You do, however, from the things they're able to get in and pull out, you do take 6 points of damage.
Woo. All right.
Now, Millar. Now, I think you didn't tell me whether Hobie was taking point on over Millar or not, so I'm just going to roll evens and odds to see who gets attacked.
Okay.
Okay, so Millar is unfortunately the one who's getting attacked. I rolled 19 again. I'm going to stop using that dice. So Millar is hit. She needs a strength challenge to keep these things from getting in on her, and she takes.
Right.
She's just. It's horrific. Oh wait, these things are at half damage. It takes reduced. These things are skittering over her. Biting.
Great. Okay, so 1 strength with a Bane. 1 -4. What's up?
Oh shit. Okay, so a few of them. If you can think of that awful scene where the Brendan Fraser one, where like the guy sees those things coming up, and then it kind of burrows underneath his skin. That's what happens. One of these things burrows through her clothing and begins. Oh no! You know what? Forgive me. Because you've reduced the swarm, they can't do that anymore.
Oh, you.
Yeah. So she's just like they're crawling around her neck and biting at every available spot. She does take the 3 points of damage though.
3 points. Okay.
Okay, so that is at the end of the round. We will. Okay, so the ones who are remaining here. Let me see. I'm just going to see where Matt and Trader found themselves.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Cube or Hypercube or Cube Zero?
What is it?
Cube?
They're Canadian horror science fiction movies.
Yeah.
Cube, Hypercube, or Cube Zero.
Can you go into the Google Plus call? You need to change the levels of your mic because your mic's picking up a lot of feedback right now, or you need to turn the volume down.
Or just mute it for a second and unmute it.
Okay, so let's see here.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it's still getting feedback. Yeah, I think you might need to manually adjust the levels of your mic, Steve, because it's picking up a lot of feedback. Or just turn the volume down.
That's on the settings of
Google. Okay. So we will do one turn for Matt. You know what, Steve? I'm sorry. I'm going to mute you. Getting some pretty crazy feedback here. I'm a dummy. I just muted myself. Hold up here. Here we go. Boom. No more feedback? No more feedback. Steve, I'll get back to you in just a moment. So, Matt, what you see is you sort of touch that stone. There's the flash of light, and then you find yourself in another white chamber, like you'd seen before. It is circular as well, and I'm just making sure here. There is no obvious exit to this, but what you see in the center of this room is a 12-foot tall clay statue that displays a man with his hands on his hips, looking very, very proudly off in the distance. And actually, give me a sec here.
Just put Superman pose, dude.
I'm going to show you what this
This
man
adventure really reminds me of the Cube movies.
Okay, so I'm going to turn Steve back on here so I can get his reaction to this as well. How do I unmute? Steve, did you mute yourself? Sorry, Steve, I think I muted you, but I can't unmute you. Can you try unmuting yourself?
Hello? Hello?
There we go. Yes, so. Sweet, thanks. Okay, guys. So
Presenting. It says I'm presenting. Okay.
this is what you see, guys. Oops, fuck. You see the DM fucking around with Google Plus. Bop, bop, bop. Bam!
Give it away!
That is the man who is standing in a clay figure or as a clay statue. And incidentally, what you say out loud, that's the son of a bitch who stole my car.
Oh. Yep.
So we'll get back to you in a moment. Let me just let's see where Trader is as well. Oh, there we go. Yeah. All right, now Trader finds himself he's sort of flapping around. He is in a very frigid, very cold, dark, not quite as dark as the obelisk chamber, but very, very dark room where there are shadows flitting about the wall. In the wall opposite from where you appear, so there's a door that leads in here that you seem to have passed through. You cannot go back through. On the far side, there is a shimmering, undulating black pool of darkness. And you think there is ice that covers the floor here. And you think that you can see something moving in the darkness. Now, we'll go back to the obelisk room. Junis, Millar, and Hobie, all the two remaining scarab swarms are on you guys right now. So I think they're going to take slow turns, or rather they're going to take fast turns. What would you like to do? You're going to take fast turns as well, Steve? So I didn't quite get...
Yeah, fast turns, sorry.
Okay, great. So who'd like to go first then? Junis, Millar, or Hobie?
Millar will go first.
Okay.
He will cast Sparkling Shield.
Nice. What does that do?
It's a circle on the ground with a 5-yard radius centered on a point within medium range. Why does that sound weird? I think that's Caltrops. Hold on. It's a shield on her arm, and when attacked, it sparks, and the attacker must make an agility challenge roll. Attacker takes 1d6 damage and is moved 1d3 yards away.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes.
So it'll cost you mana equal to, remember, the level plus 1. And it sounds like it just goes off, right?
That's right.
Okay, so that's off.
Anyone attacks me gets me.
Who wants to go next, Junus or Hobie?
Let's see what Hobie's got going on here. He will. He will. Little wisp. Disguise, binding strike, ward of the land. He can't do shit. He also has a shield, right?
Yep.
Maybe he'll take a page out of Junus's book and try to use a shield. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So go ahead and make it be a strength attack roll. And then I think the damage is 1d3.
Okay.
Let me double check that.
He'll give himself Revel's Blessing as well, so he can add d6 to that.
Sure, yeah, that works for me.
All right.
Are you attacking? Are you trying to like get the ones that are on Millar then, or are you attacking the larger group?
Oh, attack the larger group.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Boom.
Nice.
Sweet.
Awesome. Okay, so that definitely hits. So go ahead and roll damage. It'll be 1d3 plus 1d6.
Alrighty. And we'll go 1d6. Boom. And then is there 1d3? There's a d3. I'll roll another d6 and divide it by 2.
No, you can actually tell it to roll a d3. That's fine. We can use this, but like what? Check this out. I just rolled a d60.
Nice. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so that's 1. So okay, so 7. Okay.
That's slash. Is that the instruction is slash roll? Is that right?
Yep. Backslash roll and then D whatever.
That's roll. Okay.
Okay. So yeah. So Hobie jumps in and sort of sees the success that Junus had with bashing around with his shield. Oh, backslash Steve, not forward slash.
Okay, go on. There you go.
Beauty. Okay, so he's smashing the stuff, and more of those things are now goop underneath his shield. We have Junus last. What is he gonna do?
Junus is got no real abilities. He's just gonna, in a panic, keep slamming his shield down and doing the same trick he did last time as well.
Excellent. Go ahead and make your first attack roll.
All right, I believe I get at least 1 bonus on that.
You get 1 boon because of your fighter thing.
Right. When I get 2 boom, okay, I'll do 1 for now. Jotun shield 1. Boom. Submitting. Oh, wrong name. Nice. 26. What's up?
Oh, shit. That's amazing. Okay, so you crit again. So I don't think you need to roll damage. You're gonna destroy these things, and then do you want to make your second attack on the ones that are on Millar?
Are the rest of them done?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was
okay. Sure.
Yeah. Because you're gonna be rolling like 3d6 plus 4d6 damage on this thing. So.
Damn, again. Check it out.
Holy shit, that's awesome. Okay, now these things are quite nimble though, Steve, so you're not going to get that bonus again. And actually, I think you only get it once per round anyway. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I double check. I may be wrong about that. But in any event, their defense is fairly high, so you didn't quite beat it by 7. But it still would be plus 2d6 damage. Or plus 1d6. Right? Yeah, 1d6 from your what do you call it? From the bonus you always get with weapons.
Right.
Nice. Okay, so that is enough to smoosh it. The ones actually no, there's maybe like 1 left, which then tries. I made a roll for its agility check anyway, and the one that remains tries to make an attack against Millar, and then the sparkling shield flares up and just atomizes it. It's just ash in the air. And you guys find yourself standing alone in this chamber. So, we're going to go top of the round. I'm going to go back to Matt now. So, Matt, as I said, you're in this room, and there's that. You can't help but stare at this giant statue of the Goblin King.
Yeah.
And then you sort of like, you know, recover from the initial shock. And
as he recovers, he sees that Trader has taken a shit on him.
Which has the
Trader, like, you know how birds always shit on statues?
Well, Trader's not there though. Trader's in a different.
Oh, Trader's not in this room?
No.
Oh, he went through it. Okay.
Yeah. Trader's in that darkened room. Remember the really cold one with the shadow on the wall?
What? You didn't? Did you tell me where Trader was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Trader was in. What do you call it? Trader was the one who showed up in that room that was all like he flew in and there was ice on the floor. There's that big blackened shadow on the wall, and then he saw something shimmering in it.
Oh man, was I like asleep when you told me this?
I don't know.
I don't remember any of that. Wow.
Sorry, Steve. Did you hear me say that?
Vaguely, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, well, I did, but that's where Trader's in a different room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dark room, ice on the floor. Okay.
Yeah. And okay, so Matt, what you notice now is that there are 3 waterfalls that are spaced around the statue of the Goblin King. 2 are streams of pink liquid that spills from cracks in the ceiling and drain through cracks in the floor. The third is a thick orange sludge that bubbles up from a crack in the floor, sending shuddering droplets upward to disappear through a crack in the ceiling.
Oh.
So you're near you look back and there is sort of an arch built into, but that has been completely like sealed up. Like there's an arch where you'd expect there to be a door, but it's just more of the white wall that sort of surrounds you. What would you like to do?
Jeez.
You're sort of looking around and there's those 2 driplets of like pinkish liquid going down and falling near the base of the statue and then falling to the floor, and there's that orange one that falls upwards and then drips into the ceiling.
And you said there's a portal-like thing on the wall, but it's not lit up or anything, is that what you said?
Yeah, you turn around, it's as if like there was an arched kind of doorway, but as if it was built into a wall because there's no actual portal here. You touch a solid wall there.
Does the Goblin King have a name that I know?
Well, of course you know it.
Right. Well, I speak his name out loud.
Jared is his name.
Jared.
You see it, nothing really happens.
Okay.
So now we'll switch to Trader. So just to remind you again, so where Trader is, shadows partially obscure this empty, frigid chamber, thwarting all natural light and reducing the area of magical light by half. But I think, does Trader have dark vision?
It's shadow vision or whatever it's called.
Okay, yeah, low light. So again, you've sort of flown through something similar, but the walls in here are all black or dark gray at least. Actually, they're probably black. No, they're dark gray because otherwise there'd be no contrast. And there's the black on the wall. And I said that you think you can see something moving in there. Would you kindly? It's about the shimmering blackness on the far side is about 2 yards in diameter. It's like a undulating, rippling, almost like liquid. Would you make a perception check for me, please? This one is contested, so you do want to do as well as you can on it. It's also freezing in here. You haven't been this cold since like one of the times where Matt dragged you north or south when the winter came.
That's a terrible roll.
Okay. So then it unfortunately is you only notice what's coming when something is suddenly you hear and you sort of look. Let me just make sure this thing can actually get to you. So I'm assuming you're not landing, you're just sort of flying around the room.
Right, he's flying around the room.
Yeah. Then shambling on the floor are 3 shadowy forms, almost as if like the lurching, lumbering shadows cast by like a zombie or some kind of risen dead had sprung free from its the creature that was casting it, and these things are moving around on the ground beneath you. Now let's cut back to the obelisk chamber. So at least one of Millar or Hobie or Junis noticed Matt run forward, and then those lines come up and then touch the obelisk, and it disappeared. What do you 3 want to do?
So do any of my guys, did any of them kind of, who did that perception roll for? Maybe Millar. See if she saw anything.
I'll say she did. No, that's fine. I'm going to say that one of you guys noticed that happen. Junis certainly did not, and Hobie didn't notice Trader disappear. But I'll say that you guys did see Junis, or rather Millar or Hobie saw Matt run forward and disappear that way. So looking around as you're sort of, oh gosh, you know what? You're back in darkness as well. As soon as Matt disappeared, the light would have gone. So what I'm going to assume is that one of you guys had brought out a light. That was me not paying attention well enough. But you've sparked the light again, and yeah, so you see that obelisk, and as soon as you step closer to it, you see those same, that tracery goes up. But you also see that on the ground, there are a bunch of semi-precious stones scattered around.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. We'll better scoop some of those up. We look at each other and then make a relatively quick, equal distribution of handfuls, I guess, and then thinking that we should probably move along and getting the sense that there's a lot of sort of teleportation doors around. Maybe we go and touch the same obelisk that we saw the other guys touch.
Okay. Yeah. So let me see here. Give me a second. I need to find something. I've successfully managed to grab D6s that are all the same fucking color. Okay, so Junis is white, Millar is red, and Hobie is green. All right. So all 3 of you, as you step closer, that green energy kind of moves its way up to the top of the obelisk, stretching out these weird symbols along the side, very similar to Hobie, the symbols that you saw on that gate when the Fairy Queen's avatar moved through it. So this reminds you, and I guess Millar, you recognize this. This is clearly something of Fey power. All 3 of you step forward, and it gets brighter as you get in, and then there's a flash, and each of you finds yourself in a new place. So give me a sec here. So Hobie.
Oh, shit.
And there are various colors here.
Millar. Oh, I just need to keep track of the colors of the dice, Steve. I've got them recorded. And oh, that's wrong. All right. So going from the top of the round again. So Matt, you're seeing what I've described for you before. There's that weird water falling, 2 streams of water or rivulets of water falling down, and then one falling upwards around the giant statue of Jared, the Goblin King. What are you doing?
What does Matt have other than his thing? Didn't really bring like a stick, or what does he have? He sticks the end of his gun, I guess, into the orange slime just to see what the consistency's like.
They're getting closer towards it, and you can feel the statue seem to loom above you. And there's unnatural about us. So you get closer and closer, and you're sort of keeping an eye on that as you're getting closer. You also don't want to get too close to this sludge. But you're about, not about, twice the distance you could reach away from it, when you hear this sort of like scraping of clay on clay. and you see that the giant clay statue, sort of slowly moving, and now you can see that it is looking directly down at you. Do you speak Elvish?
Yes, I do speak Elvish.
Then you were fortunate to hear this thing open its mouth, and with a booming voice it says, "Interloper." Then we'll cut to Trader, who's flying around that frigid room, and he sees those things skittering around, what are moving around on the ground, sort of in these herky-jerky kind of motions. What does he want to do?
He'll fly over and examine the shimmering liquid spot on the wall.
Okay. So he flies over, and it is an inscrutable thing. It's darker than anything you've seen. But it does cast a weird sort of reflection, though. Almost as if it's like a pool of bottomless, abyssal water.
He'll touch his foot to it as he's flying in front of it.
Okay. So when he dies, who do you want to make as your next character?
I don't know yet.
I'm kidding. Okay, so you touch it, and you vanish. I will come back to him last to tell you where he ends up. So, starting with the order I've got them here, Millar, after the last thing you remember is touching that obelisk. And then you find yourself, there's it's almost like the smell of childhood. There's a thick aroma of like churned earth and plant growth or fungus growth. And you look around, and there is a unusual luminescence that is casting light in this circular room. The walls are the same white walls that you've seen in several of the other chambers, but the room is full of churned up earth, and it is covered everywhere by growths of fungi, of big, massive, round, soft mushroom caps. And it falls like a carpet. And as you get closer to the middle of the room, there is this giant red-topped mushroom that sits at a side. It's so big that you can actually see like those, I'm not sure what they're called, but whatever like the weird like lines or whatever on the bottom side of a mushroom are, the sort of like a fan kind of thing.
Right.
You see this thing towering over you, casting a kind of like an ethereal light around. And you see, crunched before this thing, also you're first a bit amazed, and then you're sort of terrified because you see lurching before this thing is one of those fungal giants, the fungal hulks that you fought so many times before so far.
Right.
Fortunately, it does not seem to be aware that you're here, or at least is making no sign of it.
Right.
And this thing is on its knees, almost like in an act of abeyance or obeisance, I should say, or prayer for this giant mushroom. And then you see there are on each side 3 of these smaller forms of the same giant fungal hulk. And if you want to remember what fungal hulks look like, let me.
I remember.
So you're saying there's 4 of them in the room?
There you go. So there's one giant one like that, guys.
Nice.
And there are 6 smaller ones. And in a moment of terror, Millar looks around and realizes she is all alone. So that's when Millar finds Junis. Oh no, Junis, you haven't gone anywhere. You're in the obelisk room again.
I stepped through the light. Okay.
Yeah, so you're sort of looking around, and you're like, how the hell why didn't I go anywhere? And it's almost as if like you appeared a second after you disappeared, because you can see like there's the dying light of the obelisk before you, until you're
right.
like, suddenly plunged into blackness. And then Hobie, Hobie finds himself in a white. Sorry, Steve. I was just checking something. Hobie finds himself in another cylindrical like white room, identical to many of the others that you've been in. But the center of this room is just full of these like diaphanous curtains, or veils. And you see there's a bunch of things that are like they're almost obscuring what's in the very middle. But you think there's something standing in the middle there. And you sort of, what do? Do you try and like move into there, or do you?
Do I listen first? Do I hear anything?
Why don't you make a perception check for me?
Wow.
Yeah. So what you hear is a fairly low-throated from somewhere, as if some abnormally large serpent lurks within the veil.
Good Lord.
And again, he turns and realizes he's all alone here. And then finally, Trader, you appear in a much brighter room. And this is, unlike the others that you've been to thus far, this is perhaps the most welcoming, because there is the same big white room with, cast with ambient light. And in the center of the room, there's an enormous pile of pillows. And they look like the most comfortable thing that you've ever seen. Would you please make a strength challenge roll with 1 Bane, please?
Don't lie down. Resist.
Okay. Whoops, wrong thing. Trainer, a strength challenge?
Yes, please, with 1 Bane.
-1.
So tired.
Oh, that's a really good roll.
Nice.
So I have huge negatives on that.
You fortunately recognize that this is the pull of some fey thing. Something wants you to lie down, which means that you absolutely do not want to lie down. So I think where we'll end is with Junis, lighting a torch of his own so he can see. And what does he do? Does he want to go and touch the obelisk again?
Yeah. So did he see any colors when if there was a flashing and so on?
Just that baleful green that seemed to flash each time the obelisk activated.
Huh. All right. And then there's still the green door by the other door, right? Like I could walk out of this room, right?
You can. No, there's no door in here.
Okay, so the green door that we used to get in here, that door is gone from the room with the shapes.
You remember you appeared here. You touched that portal and you suddenly just appeared here.
Yeah, this is the second room we were in.
All right. And I look at the wall. Junis looks at the walls. Are there markings on the walls?
No, it's perfectly in the same way that there was the perfectly smooth white walls in some of the other ones. These are perfectly smooth black walls. And you get the crunch of the scarab beetles underneath your feet.
First he writes, Junis was here on the wall, and then he touches the obelisk again.
Okay, so we'll end the session then with Junis stepping forward. It flares up. Let me roll just to see where he goes. Oh, interesting.
Interesting. You die.
Yeah, it's over a pit.
Really like playing Overwatch, putting the teleporter over the edge.
Totally. Oh, you know where you appear? Right next to Junus in that, or to Hobie, in that room with the diaphanous curtains hanging down.
Okay.
That's where we'll leave things, guys, and then we'll pick up again next week. So for those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. We hope you enjoyed this continuing exploration of the mysteries of the Moon Spire, and we hope to see you again soon.